In this video I'm going to be showing you how to duplicate items in the newest 1.2.0 patch. The first thing that you're going to need is to have a single one of the material or Zonai device you want to duplicate. This will work on anything you can equip through the material throw menu. When you have one of the material that you want to dupe, the next thing you're going to need is a ledge. This is going to be easier to execute if you are using a ledge that has a higher drop off. I'm going to just build my own so I can have it wherever I want. To make a really easy ramp, you can just attach two boards at 90-degree angles like this. I'm actually going to adjust this one because the end of the ramp here is going to get in the way of falling down and also the item that you're trying to drop. So I'll just take this and put it at a 45 about 1/4 or 1/5 of the way down the board and then flip it over. You can make your ramp any size that you want, or even use anything that you can drop off of. Once you have your ramp or ledge to drop off of, hold R like you're going to throw your weapon and then press up on the D-pad. Select the material you're trying to dupe. Then while holding the material as if you're going to throw it, you're going to walk off the ledge and press up on the D-pad. Make sure to keep R held this entire time, by the way. The material that you're holding will say you have 0, but even though it says you have 0, you can still drop it with the X button. So you're going to drop it, and since you dropped an item from your inventory, which technically has 0 right now, since the one from your inventory is actually in your hand, then if you throw the one that was in your hand, then that means that you get to keep both. Now you've successfully duped one of them, but you will need one in order to do it again. So pick up one of the duped ones, and then you can just walk back up your ramp or onto the ledge you're near. And I'm just going to find this really quick in my inventory. So I have one right here. I'm going to equip it, drop off of the ledge, and in midair open my menu with up on the D-pad, then press X to drop it. Then when I hit the ground, I'm going to throw it. So now we have another one duplicated. And you can just keep repeating this process until you hit the item limit of 21. Once you do hit this item limit of 21, then the items will start to despawn. Since it's only possible to do this with an item that you have one of, you'll be capped at getting 21 of the item if you only use this method alone. But I'm going to show you another glitch that you can pair with this in order to go over that 21 item limit cap. To bypass the spawned item limit cap, you're going to need to go to a Zonai dispenser. So any Zonai dispenser will work with this. I'm just going to pick this one. You can teleport to whatever Zonai dispenser you feel like. So now that I'm here, I'm just going to make my way over to the Zonai dispenser. And when you use the Zonai dispenser, the lid in front of it opens. So the first thing that we need to do is force that lid to stay open. And when that lid is open, we need to force items up inside of it in order to block the dispenser. There are a few items that work for this, but I'm going to use fans because most people have fans. You can attach two of them together just like this. And then next you're going to want to move them to where they're just outside of the range of the door. Adjust it however you need to until you get the result I'm going to show you. Then to test it, drop an item into the dispenser. When you see the dispenser open up and shoot out your item, it should stay stuck like this, so it stays open. And now you're just going to take your two fans and shove them up inside of the dispenser. The reason that we're doing this is so that we can block the items from coming out of the dispenser when we drop items into the dispenser. The items that are blocked up in the dispenser are not going to count towards the total item count on the ground, and because of this, we can use this to bypass the 21 limit. So I'll show you an example really quick of me bypassing that 21 limit just by dropping a bunch of diamonds in here. So I'm just going to drop these diamonds in, and if I walk over to the dispenser, you can see that they're stuck in there. That means that it's working correctly, and I would recommend checking to make sure the items are blocked whenever you're actually using this to dupe something. So I'm just going to keep dropping my diamonds in here to show you that this can bypass the limit, and also give you an idea of what's supposed to be happening during the duping part. So I ended up dropping a total of 30 diamonds by the end of this into the dispenser. I started with 115 and ended up with 85. And now this part is important. Use recall on whatever item you put up in the dispenser, and you're going to walk up next to it so that you can spam A and pick up all the items as they're falling out. As long as you pick them up fast enough and never let a total of 21 be on the field at the same time, That means that all of the things you put in the dispenser you can get back, which can be used to bypass the normal 21 item limit. So you can see here that I got all of the diamonds back. There's one over to the side that I just didn't pick up yet. And because this works, we can set up our ramp here and dupe the items that we want to dupe. Then we can block up the dispenser, and we can just keep dropping the items that we're duping in the dispenser. So that way we can get as many of the items that we're duping as we want. So now I'm just going to reset my fans really quick so they're blocking the dispenser again. And then I'm going to start duping and occasionally put my items into the dispenser that I'm duping so that I can make sure that I only have one of the item at all times, and I can keep duping as many of the items as I want as long as I keep storing them in the dispenser. So I'm just going to get out my ramp that I made earlier. Then I'm going to set it up so that I can drop off of it and start duping again. We're going to run up here, pick what we want to dupe, and this time I'm going to choose a Molduga jaw instead. And again, as a refresher, hold R. While holding R, press up on the D-pad and select what you want to dupe. Then press up on the D-pad and drop the item you're holding. When you hit the ground, then you're going to throw what you want to dupe, and now you have 2 of them. Then pick up 1 so you can keep repeating this process, and you're going to find it in your menu again. Then you're going to equip it, drop, and while in the air you're going to press up on the D-pad, press X to drop it, then throw the one you're holding and it's duped. Keep repeating this process until you have a decent amount of them stacked up. I would say stick to only doing about 10 of these at a time, because if you do too many then it will de-render your fans. Just stay under the 21 total item limit cap. Once you have a good amount, you're going to drop them all into the dispenser and leave it so that you can still have one and continue duping. You can keep repeating this of going back and forth between storing them in the dispenser and duping, and this way you can get as many of the item as you want. If your fans are sliding forward too much, by the way, you can put something in front of them to block them. Just make sure to slowly move them back and forward once so that you can use recall when you need to. I didn't personally have an issue with this, but I could see it potentially becoming a problem if you're doing this with a super large amount of items, since the fans move forward slightly every time you put items in the dispenser. Once you've stored as many as you want, you're going to use recall on your blocker to move it backwards. And make sure that you stand in position so that you're ready to grab everything as it falls out. It's important to be ready to grab everything and be rapidly pressing A, because you don't want 21 of the items on the field at the same time or they will despawn. And right now I'll show you, I was storing those Molduga jaws. I started with 1 and now I have 44. I will say that this is a little slower than most of the methods that you can use in 1.1.2, but right now in the 1.2.0 patch is the best option we currently have to dupe. Also, credit to Quantum for figuring out the duplication method, and credit to Moz for figuring out the dispenser storage method. I'll link both of their channels at the top of the description of this video. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure to like and subscribe.